Now to the actual game. I'll come back for you. Act 5.
Reiterate, the entire town now seems to be a disaster area. And while authorities and relief workers from Monarch are redoubling their efforts, it seems everybody's working at capacity. And
time was broken. Working out of sync. The city was in a state of chaos. The end of time was closing in.
Awful.
And you still believed you could fix it?
The solution was inside Monarch Tower. The countermeasure.
The CFR, as Monarch knew it. The key to the lifeboat protocol. Monarch's survival plan. But that didn't seem to matter to you.
I had a better plan.
Yeah, my plan is to save everybody.
Okay then.
Find Serene. Monarch Solutions. Is that a bad guy over there? Oh, the stutter ended.
Christ!
Yeah, Tyne's definitely messed up. Too close to the tower. Oh, it needed reloading. Shield. He tried to do my signature move. Cheeky little shit that he is. Reloading my little shield bubble. I have one bullet to spare on that magazine.
Can't focus. Now, where do they keep the countermeasure? Shouldn't be too hard to find. Just the biggest damn building in Riverport.
Oh wait, there's an audio device.
Hello, Riverport. This is Teresa Sedmak. As I am sure you are aware, things are very chaotic right now all over Riverport and in the rest of the world. There's an epidemic of collisions of some kind happening. Car accidents, air collisions, all eerily similar to the Port Donnelly. I personally witnessed a car slamming into 3 people, a family as they were crossing the street, and I do not know where that car came from. The street was clear and suddenly the situation is being addressed by Monarch Solutions, who are responding to the crisis by... I can't do this. This isn't worth it. They didn't tell me it would be like this. They knew, didn't they? Those sons of bitches knew, and the way that they were talking, they...
Let's upgrade our handgun. Saw one somewhere. I like how you can push the frozen bodies around. Whoop. They'll snap back to their position eventually. Wait for it. He was an adventurer. He took a bullet to the knee. No, I wanted the handgun. Yeah, handgun. The burst gun doesn't seem to kick him as far as other guns. Oh well. Reload all my ammo. Any collectibles I missed? They made a time machine. Only they got the equation wrong. So yeah. Double check your maths. So his brother was the genius physicist William Joyce, who kind of theorized the whole chronon field and chronon particles, and then later discovered them and pioneered the entire science. And he made a time machine, and then these guys made it, and they got their math wrong. And this is the mistake. This is what happens when you get the math wrong. And the guy that's the bad guy was this, like our character's best friend growing up. So we're trying to fix time for our brother, who died, like trying to stop everything. But not after he corrected the mistake in their math, while trying to get away from at the beginning part of the game. Oh, there's a chronon breach right over here. Oh, here we go.
Jack? I hope you can hear me.
Fiona? Is that you?
Yes. I wasn't sure if I could make this work. Listen, the CFR, it's not easy to reach, but you can access it from Serene's office. A friend of mine has unlocked the CFR chamber, but the rest of the place is still in lockdown. I think I could help you with that. Like this.
I guess you can.
Serene isn't in the building anymore, so maybe you don't have to run into him.
Still not sure why you're doing this.
I trusted that. I know she had her own agenda. I don't know half of what she did, but I trusted her, and she trusted you. And this is feeling like a real do-or-die situation, so I guess I'm doing.
Chronon. So yeah, when they first tried to...
Alright.
Beginning of the game, when we started up the time machine, 6 points, perfect, we can upgrade. The first trip where he went back in time 2 minutes to prove it worked, went fine, then he's going to go ahead in time, and it just went to shit. Causing a fracture that's been slowly spreading out to the point where eventually it's going to result in the end of time. And that's what we're trying to prevent. Ooh, maybe I should have went for the time stop. Oh, wow. Oh, actually, you know, I think there's something we forgot to check on recently. The diaries.
Sophia. She kept me grounded. Reminded me of the reason I created the lifeboat. The parts of humanity that were worth protecting. I trusted her. More than I've ever trusted anybody. Every time I received my treatment, I put my life in her hands. And every time, she has been slowly taking it away from me. All these years, she claimed to be looking for a permanent cure. In reality, she's been searching for a way to destroy not only me, but everything I've built. And she finally found it. Martin's evidence makes that much entirely clear. She didn't do this alone. There are others. I will find her, even if I have to torture every fucking scientist in this company. I will find her. She will answer for what she's done.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because we chose to trust Martin Hatch, but Martin Hatch was actually the one doing all the scheming. He should have trusted the doctor.
It's only a matter of time before the sickness takes over. I've delayed the inevitable, taken the final treatment to reach the clarity necessary for my final actions. All I've built, everything I've done here, it can't be for nothing. The lifeboat cannot function without the CFR, the countermeasure. I've had a vision. I've seen Jack at the swimming pool holding the device. That's where I meant to stop him. That's where I must go. That's where this ends. I ordered Liam Burke to guard the CFR chamber. I know he won't succeed, but at the very least he'll slow Jack down, make sure he comes out hurting. Now I have to finish the job. Know that everything I have done was necessary to assure our survival. Every life lost was in the service of our future. My fight ends today, but Monarchs has just begun. The end of time cannot be prevented, but it can be endured. We will survive. We will survive.
Yeah. Sorry. And also, the character we're playing as, Jack Joyce, that's his best friend for like his whole life. The reason we're in this position is he called us back because he wanted someone he could trust to do the experiment, prove he could time travel. But when it went haywire, they both got saturated with chronon particles and became like, got time manipulation powers. But he ended up getting sent to the future where time was frozen, and we didn't. But now he thinks because he went there, that means it's always inevitable and it will always happen. I don't agree.
Let's talk about Serene's condition. You're aware of how it started?
Ground zero.
Monarch developed a treatment to curb his symptoms.
No. Paul
Our
Serene's the bad
reports
guy.
state that you destroyed those treatments, rendering him defenseless as his sickness spread.
That's what the reports say, yeah. But I've never stepped foot in that lab.
You have no way of proving that.
Now, I find it curious. Dr. Amaral was working on a permanent cure for Paul's condition. But she was ordered to stop before research was complete. Sounds like somebody on the inside didn't want him to get better.
Sounds like you have an interest in this cure. It makes me wonder if you know anybody else suffering from the same symptoms. It makes me wonder if that is why you're truly here.
Or maybe I just really like the coffee here.
We got the rest of the Beths.
We've got Dr. Amaral. If she can fix this machine, then this is it. I have mixed feelings. That notebook gave me some kind of sense of invulnerability. I always knew what came next. Once I enter that machine, from that point forward, this story's unwritten. I haven't told Jack this, but I have found things in this swimming pool. Scattered papers, journal entries in my handwriting. My journey from this point forward isn't gonna be easy. That much is clear. As long as we succeed, it's all worth it. This can't be for nothing. We will succeed. We have to. It's our destiny.
So Paul Serene, he called us to help do things, and we were there when he started the time machine, but we're kind of an unwitting bystander. And then since then, when he got thrown to the future, he then went to the past. He's been spending the last, 17 years using future knowledge to amass a fortune, slowly bribe the world, take over the media of the world, have everything set up so he can make this the Monarch Corporation, like Monarch Solutions, basically be like a world power to set himself up, supposedly to save like make this lifeboat thing to save humanity. But in the meantime, he made a paramilitary group that's at his beck and call, that does whatever he says, kind of acts a bit like a cult, and he does whatever he wants to see it done. He's made a huge fortune doing it. He's killed a ton of people, including his best friend's brother, right in front of his best friend's eyes. So, like, we're just trying to stop him and then fix the fracture in time. And he's trying to prevent us from fixing the fracture in time, thinking it can't be stopped. It's going to happen. We'll use the thing that's supposed to stop it to give us a chance at maybe fixing it after the fact, while we're trying to prevent it from fully breaking in the first place. And he's also using the influence of his multi-billion-dollar company to make it seem like we're a terrorist, but we're not. We're just trying to stop him. We might have a little bit of a plan to get revenge on him for killing our brother, but that's to be expected.
February 28th, 1999. 2100 hours.
Oh, and also for Beth. He killed Beth, too.
Serene is gone. When Amaral sent me through the machine, I thought I'd come out on the other end with a solution in sight. I found the opposite. The end of time. I saw it. I don't know what that means. Ever since I was 8 years old, I saw proof that things happen for a reason, that they can't be changed, that I had a purpose. I don't know what to believe now. If what I saw was real, then anything we do to stop it will fail. If that's true, then what is this all for? What does it mean? I can't give up. I'm gonna complete the cycle. Find a solution. There's still hope. I have to believe that. July 4th, 2010. I've spent years in denial about what I saw, about its inevitability, the end of time. I wanted to believe maybe Jack was right. Maybe all this could be undone. Erased. I looked for proof. A loophole. Something. Jack's parents died in a car crash. 1999. I thought, maybe if I could stop it from ever happening, if that were possible, then I failed. I failed every time. Every time I tried to make things right. This is our destiny. The good and the bad, intrinsically tied to this path. It can't be bent. It can't be broken. No matter whether we succeed or fail, it still comes.
I think she lost faith.
I see it every night in my dreams, scraping away at my mind. The end of time is coming. And the only way I've been able to keep sane is by focusing on the present. What's here? Now, in front of me. But today is different. My whole life, I've had a mission. I'm gonna see it through. Even if there's no hope. Even if we fail. This is what I was meant to do. And I know what happens next. This will be my final entry.
So they're so fixed on it, like being there's only one course time takes. Like, God, I think the whole point of the game, if we actually beat the game, for it to have any meaning, it has to end up that there is actually a possible of deviant time. Not to mention the fact that he remembered time taking longer for the time fracture to break, and this time it's happening really quick. So clearly the initial time loop that he was on, that when he went to forward, that initial timeline, isn't identical to every other one. Like, maybe very similar, but it's different. It's diverging at least a little bit.
Okay. The date is, it's February 28th, 1999. William Joyce. All right.
Oh, this is the first time you turned on the time machine.
Months of arduous work. My machine is finally ready for human testing. Ready is defined by me, since ready is obviously a relative term when you're dealing with the deformation of the chronon field and recreating of black holes' mass density by tangent. Okay, in short summary, I built a time machine, and it works. I'm gonna prove it, or die. Okay.
Or die.
Some final preparations. When I enter the machine, I will travel clockwise around the corridor. Okay. Core is active. Chronon levels are stable. I'll travel clockwise around the corridor, exiting back into the same location in the near future. Oh. This clock is set to my watch. Now, when I exit the machine, there should be a significant difference in time between my watch and the clock in this room. Corridor is locked in place. Okay, setting the date to 5 minutes to the future for the first test. Now, admittedly, traveling to the past would be much more impressive, but I can travel backwards in time only as far as the first activation of the machine's core, which is, well, now.
Okay, well then wait 2 minutes, go back in time, there'd be two of you right now.
Machine's ready. Monitor is stable.
The other guy did. It's much more impressive.
What I'm about to do is gonna
Because
change.
this could all be faked, right? The watch is being out of sync.
I don't remember.
April 2nd, 99.
It's
Hey, day after my
April
birthday.
2nd, 1999. It's been about a month since the incident. Since I was
I'd be
shot
16.
by the man from the future. Since Wilder. I've moved the machine. Hidden it. I wish I could destroy it, but I made it tell me as little as possible. The more you know about what'll happen, the worse it'll be. We're all puppets. I can take that for as long as I can't tell the difference. I think she understood. Doesn't matter anyway. She told me the fracture is gonna happen because of what I did. I have to fix it. I have to. I don't know how yet. I have to build a countermeasure of some kind. I know the theoretical mechanism of the field's collapse, but how to stop it, let alone reverse it. It'll take years of research.
About 11.
I have no idea how to do this. How to pay for it. I
Yeah,
don't
sell
know.
your parents' house. Get a grant.
Wilder's from the future, and she came to me. I have to assume that I was successful, right? Why else would she come to me?
Because you're this guy that figured out time travel. You're the original science guy that you created the science. You found the particle. You made the time machine. Who else would you create to try to get someone to fix the time issue, right? All right. Go that way. Oh, what have we here?
Welcome to the international headquarters of Monarch Solutions. This state-of-the-art building has become world famous for its unique architecture and its iconic presence in the Riverport skyline. Incorporating an unprecedented level of automation designed with both comfort and security in mind, complete with a zero-carbon footprint, the building provides a safe and environmentally friendly workplace for thousands of Monarch employees. Monarch Solutions. All we think about is the future.
Zero carbon footprint. Well, in that case, I'm sure you're all cool.
Exactly. They keep saying that, like, time's immutable, but we keep finding like little things that show that it's slightly different. Like, instead of taking years from the first incidents of the fracture, like stutters happening, it's taken like days, right?
Buildings in lockdown. The hell's that even mean?
Poor bastard doesn't know anything about the train crash. Hope he doesn't have a heart attack when time resumes.
Big ass building. No secrets back here. Alright. A lot of force. And we gotta get to the top. Office spaces, reception, public floors, all the way up to, looks like 10. Research up to 12. Then labs after that. Alright, here's an echo.
Mr. Hatch! I thought you... They said you're dead.
They are confused about a great many things. I have a little job for you.
But I mean, I'm not sure I should...
You are still working for me.
Yes, of course. Whatever you say, Mr. Hatch.
Except for he's not supposed to be followed. Hatch has been declared a traitor. Oh well. Don't think I missed any other echoes down there. Did I get him?
God. Right. Paul's
Got
office.
Got both at once. Yeah, well, I was worried it would take too long to charge up my time bomb power. Look at the one up there! Did I actually get that? Well, the fact that there's one just standing there is a little unsettling. But we're good. Monarch radio.
Right. How am I getting to Paul's office?
Won't work in stutters. Radio waves got stuck same way as everything else. Use stutter-proofed hardline terminals instead. Anything over? No. A nice view of the helicopter flying there, though. Alright. Alright. From Luther Talbot to Pablo Torres, getting to be that time. Hey Pablo, think it's getting close. You better get your ass to the stutter-proofed area. Still can't believe this is real. But you've seen what it's like out there. Half the world's going to shit. Just glad we're in here. I don't know how it's all going to play out, but at least this way, we got a chance. Maybe we can fix things later. I bet those science guys work it out, right? And hey, if you see that Jack Joyce asshole, just run dude over, okay? I was talking to Clarice, and I didn't realize this before. I thought he was just sneaky or lucky or something, but I saw some battle reports from the field, and he's just a machine. Fucker just shoots his way through everything and throws everything we throw his way. I know this place is safe, but I figure he'll show up sooner or later. I heard he's got some personal beef with Serene. So when he comes, you better stay out of his way. Let the jarheads handle that, if they can. If Joyce is coming after Serene, he's going to be pretty mad when he finds out the boss took a chopper out. You hear anything about that? What the fuck was that about? So it could get pretty ugly. See you when the dust clears, I guess. Stay safe, man. LT. Oh, I wonder, does that mean that? No, that's the helicopter coming in, not one going out. It would have been cool if you actually see a helicopter that's leaving in the background. From Clarice Ogawa. That's the person who we're talking to in the interviews when we're being. It cuts to him talking to someone. This is her. Attention! Lifeboat security protocols are now in full effect. Our stutter proofing has failed, and we have reports of shifters in the building. You all know the drill. We have trained for this. Do not approach shifters alone. Remember that they are not restricted by the physical space in the same way we are. Deploy dampeners and watch your backs. Work in teams. Remember your tactics. Maintain distance. Don't take any unnecessary chances. Comms are unreliable due to the stutters. To pass word to others. Take advantage of stutter collapses to communicate as effectively as you can. We are attempting to repair the stutter proofing as quickly as possible, but be advised that contrary to our earlier timeline, which gave us years more to prepare, we believe we are now on the verge of the final zero state, and every single stutter we encounter is more and more likely to be the one that never ends. That means our priorities have changed. The lifeboat protocol is full effect, and ensuring its success is our only objective. Whether the opposition is shifters, Jack Joyce, or anybody else. It's vital that we all remember our training. If we do things right, we will make it out of this. And we will make our way into the lifeboat. Good luck. Make me proud.
I really don't want to go outside.
I really don't want to go outside.
World's just going crazy.
There's no way for them to understand what's happening. Must be scary. What's going on here? Thought I'd run into organized resistance.
Monarch shifted gears. There's this survival program, and you're either in it or you're irrelevant. So everybody's just scrambling, and Serene's acting weird. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's just waiting for it all to end. But you're gonna keep that from happening, right?
Old Dirty Oda! Thank you so much for the follow. Sorry there's not an alert on screen. The bot I was using broke, and I haven't replaced it yet. I'll try to do that during the week. I appreciate the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Push this guy out of the way for a second. Wait for it. I still love that one the most. He got knocked way up. Oh, wait. Oh my god, something else must be taking them out. Look, they're way up there falling down and shit. I thought that was because the two I blew up, but I guess those are the two I blew up. And those were all knocked down from above. That must be from the shifters. Remedy games are so good, aren't they? Like, I played Control, and I loved it. And because it referenced Alan Wake, which is one of my all-time favorite games, I went back and replayed Alan Wake. Loved it again. Then I went to play this, and it had been removed from Steam. And then the next week, which was the week before, I checked to see that it was there, and it was there. Beat the Alan Wake game, went to play this off Steam. Started playing something else, I can't remember what. The next week, it's back on Steam and on the Game Pass all of a sudden. Doesn't work right. The episodes don't stream. So leave it for a little while. Trying to play, I played something else, can't remember what offhand. Come back to it, and now everything works. And everything's there. If you're going to play it, play the Steam version if you can. It runs in DirectX 11, which runs better. DirectX 12 one has a couple bugs in it. Including one where they have it does a software ray tracing. And it fails. Like the screen will go all like bright cyan and magenta and stuff. But yeah, Control makes such good games. I'm really looking forward to Alan Wake 2.
I was getting closer to the countermeasure. Paul had the key to fixing the fracture all along.
And this references Alan Wake as well, which was great.
There was nothing to see. He believed the fracture couldn't be fixed. That's why he used the countermeasure, the CFR, to create the lifeboat.
But if it couldn't be fixed, then what was the point of the lifeboat? Should give you time to fix it. Are you kidding me? We can't fight that. We gotta run. Nissan sign. Is that what they're fighting?
What the fuck is that? Damn.
It's a person. They're fighting a person. I wonder if it's like the final form of people with powers like us when they got too much time in them. We're going to be finding out in a second, I think.
Those men died fighting something that lives outside of time.
The very reason our weapons program was built. Serene knew they were coming.
Weapons weren't doing the trick.
From Simon, Bacon? I just cleared... Okay, Miss Ogawa, just cleaned up the situation room, by which I mean I dealt with Dr. Emerald's corpse. Listen, this isn't something I'd ever say to the rest of the guys, but you're my boss, and I want to be honest with you about this. The whole thing's pretty fucked up. You know, I've been in this shit. I've dealt with bodies before. I'm not exactly what you'd call squeamish. This just seems wrong. I thought Emerald and Serene were solid, but I guess she crossed the line, and hey, if she did what they said she did, I can see why she had to go. You're loyal or you're worm food. I got no problem with that. It's how I've always worked. But there's protocol. We're supposed to be disciplined, professional. We gotta tie up a loose end. You better believe we'll do it. But we do it by the book. You bump somebody off in the middle of a meeting like that, I don't know what that is, but it ain't business. That's just some street gang bullshit. You do that, it makes me wonder what else you're gonna do when things don't go our way. So I've got concerns here. Just want you to know that. Anyway, it's done. I'll be at my post if you need me. It's almost like they're dealing with us the way that they're getting taken out, only faster. Yeah, supposedly these guns are supposed to be the guns they have, even though they suck for fighting when we use them. They're supposed to work on things that are like the shifters in that, but clearly not enough.
Mr. Hatch, sir, I mean, if I deactivate the stutter proofing system, won't that, if time stops again, then the building will be...
Let me worry about that.
It's just that I'm really not sure this is okay. Couldn't we just check with somebody?
Do I have to look up your home address?
No, sir. I'll do it.
See that you do.
At that point, the second he turned around, I would be putting a bullet in his head. Are you getting ready for Alan Wake 2? Oh, it's one of my most looked forward to games of the year. Just started playing Quantum Break. Well, I hope you don't feel like I'm spoiling anything for you. Some people don't like that. I know I don't. I like coming to a game blind.
Yeah.
I definitely plan on playing this again because of the multiple choice things.
I think so. Sorry, this isn't quite my forte. I know a guy who would do this in his sleep, but he's about as dependable as... Oh, never mind, that's it. Be careful. You'll have company in there.
There's key moments when you get to play as Paul Serene for a moment, and you pick A or pick B, and you get a little glimpse of how things will go. Because one of his gifts, he gets a little glimmer. He gets to see little like glimpses of the future, and so he gets to see like if I do this, what's going to happen? If I do that, what's going to happen? And then you pick A or B, and you do that like 4 or 5 times throughout the game. And so I'm going to do it. I plan on playing through again, but taking the other options.
I'm still not sure what your role in this whole thing is.
Neither am I, anymore. I thought I was looking into the death of somebody I used to know. So I know that these things are loose in the building. They aren't human, but they used to be. Stay away from them, Jack. They're bad news.
I don't know if we're going to have that choice. I don't think they know I'm here yet. And we should just switch off our gear. It only goes after things that move. What makes you think it's ever going to end? This could be it, asshole. And if one man and I everyone keep moving, so you better pull on. I get why they're freaking out. Alright, what's this? PR protocol. Oh, I can't do it until I deal with the troops, apparently. Boo. They're so focused on that thing coming through, they don't think about me. Get them all at once.
Thanks for that.
Don't hit me. Ooh! Oh, I thought I got him. Oh, that got him.
Fine.
The way he was spinning in, I thought I got him, but I guess not. Reload.
Is that all you got?
Oh shit. I hate these guys. Shit, I forgot to reload. Fighting these big guys, you can only hear them when you get behind them. Reload. There it is. I'm gonna have to get the same reload to get to that backpack. I only have one shotgun shell left. Almost got that one. I accidentally clicked and swapped the perspective from the left to the right, which kept the angle off, so I missed. That's frustrating. Get him away from things so I can have a clear shot at the back. Oh, I'm on my last 5 bullets. It feels like I'm not getting the effect. Oh shit, my shield turned off just as the bullets got to it. These guys so much. can't even truly pause them. This gun can hurt them. Oh, wrong couch. The wrong side of the couch. Walk right into that. Oh, I think I got one. Almost killed me, but I got one. So one's working. I just gotta keep it up. I would have thought a few grazes would be pretty, still hurt them. Whoops, forgot to switch to the shotty. Ooh, did that do it?
Gotta get the countermeasure.
I think I did it. Woohoo! It's just a pistol. Let's go read what this board said.
The Monarch PR machine was going strong. The public believed that they were doing what the police force couldn't. Protecting them from a terrorist threat. From...
you.
Monarch PR protocol. Monarch Solutions response to tragedy. No public aggression. Coercion / manipulation over violence. Contain, bury, spin everything. Friendly, safe authority. Control Mayor, Riverport PD. Monarch authority... assisting the authorities. Deploy SEDMAC for media control. Remove Radford. Manufacture terrorist threat. Jack Joyce. Note: Jack Joyce should be a clear later addition on the board. Yeah, later addition? Like he knew that we were going to be an addition. He did try to get us on his side multiple times, so maybe he was trying to keep his own team from knowing that he knew we would be trouble. And that he wanted us to be only added after he had tried anyway. Info warfare. See Charlie Wincott for details. Flood social media, social networks / media sites with new narrative. Drown out legitimate reports with flood of conflicting accounts. Paint troublemakers as bleeding heart extremists. Attain critical mass. Useful idiots will take over the trolling. Okay. Yeah, Jack Joyce is filled in after the fact. Is this a time frame of when they start? Stevenson for more OP info. Shipyard, closed down area. Team Viper cleared. Any other things we can read? Doesn't look like it. The big guys are too big to push their bodies. Oh, wait.
Dr. Amaral was the key to Paul's survival. So why was she killed?
Serene believed she was working against him, wanted him dead.
I wonder who made him think that.
From Vera Kovac. Holy shit! Halim, I know I was saying that there was no way Amaral would make it out of the thing alive, but now I feel just sick about the whole thing. I don't know if you heard, but she came back. Except for now she got killed right here in the building. I don't know what went down exactly, but she was meeting with Serene and she didn't walk out of the meeting. That's fucked up. I feel sick. Holden from Acquisition says she blew up some lab on the island. She wasn't actually kidnapped. She set the whole thing up with Joyce. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, have you talked to her? She's nice. She always believed in what we're doing. I just can't believe she'd do something like that. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, what the fuck, man? Serene just killed her. Just like that. This scares the crap out of me. Please write back. I don't know what to do. This wasn't what they said it was going to be. The world's going to shit outside, and now I don't feel safe in here either. I could use some help here. This is seriously bad. Let me know what you want to do, V. Alright. Any others that the explosion people were blocking? I do like some of the effect, like all the like little streamers and like the bolts of lightning frozen in time effects. Looks really good. Okay. Odd that there's no Chronon or anything either. Okay. Well. Where we go? Now we did see one of those weird shifter things walking towards this door. Where did it go? Supposedly they respond to movement inside frozen time.
Skybridge. You're in marketing right now. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it. Hey Jack, be careful. There's something really weird going on in this building.
Monarch was scrambling. Paul's empire was falling apart all around me. I'd never seen anything like it. But Paul had. That's what he was preparing for all those years. He didn't do a very good job.
Well, he prepared for this. He didn't prepare for us to tear it all down. We've come a long way already.
Pretty sure they didn't even scratch that thing.
Is there another one we could have talked to as well? That looks painful. Haven't even seen any Chronon in a while. Wow, it ripped through them like crazy.
Holy shit.
This is even worse than when we go through. Kind of a cool effect though. Run on.
Alright, that's it.
Remaining filtering capacity, base velocity status. tactical gun they gave all their people. Look at the... For whatever reason, I don't know why that cracks me up. The shadow with the guy in front of the projector. Oh, that poor bastard. Now I can't read the report. From Bruce Lee. Oh, don't tell me it's the third part of the screenplay or something. The screenplays this guy writes to Dr. Sophia Amaral. He's clearly in love with her, or well, infatuated with her. But they are so bad, they're good. It's like the best kind of created. It was great, Rita. Hey, Sophia. Still haven't heard from you about my screenplay. I know you're busy with all your work, but this is really taking off in a big way, so let's try to get going on this, okay? I know this thing is going to be huge, so I just went ahead and mortgaged my house to make this thing reality. It's my dream, and I'm going to follow my dream. And once I get the Kickstarter going, this thing's going to pay me back for the mortgage, so no problem. I already shot a short promo thing for the Kickstarter campaign. Let me know what you think. I'm going to star in it, but I've got a really cool part for you too if you want it. You'd be perfect for it. Also, like I said, I'm going to need that science feedback stuff soon. Let me know ASAP. There's a perfect role for her. Yeah, the role that he wrote as her, literally. Dr. Sophia. And the bad guy in his film isn't Paul Serene, it's like Brian Marine or something. It was so cringe, but it was good. It was so good. Oh, is this the promo time knife? That's better than I would have thought. You know, I'd watch the movie. Like, it was hard. It was so cringy. It was hard to read the screenplay. I still think
they have a time machine here. Shit. This is where they brought the university core. This is Paul's machine. Looks like they have it on the top floor.
Monarch paperweight with note. Ensure personally that CFR chamber is secure. We already got that. Stolen core from the beginning of the game. Oop, here's another one. From Bernard Riker, a confession to Paul Serene. Sir, I know you won't have a chance to read this email until you return to HQ. I have turned this over in my head repeatedly, and I see no other option than to let you know what I have done. I have deactivated the stutter-proofing at the building. I had maintenance access, and I used it. But I want you to know I did it under tremendous duress. Martin Hatch left me no choice. He threatened my family, and I didn't know what else to do. I still don't. I know there are shifters out there. The stutter-proofing's gone, and I don't have a Chronon harness, so technically I'm safe. The shifters only exist in stutters, and when one of those hits, I freeze, just like the rest of the world. So whatever happens during the stutters, I'm safe, barring some kind of a desynchronization-related accident. What that means, though, is that one eye blink, I'm here, and the next one, there's 2 dead strikers on the floor. Dead because of me. Their blood's all over me from nowhere. I'm looking at them right now, typing this on my phone. I can smell the blood at, I don't know, ozone, I guess, and smoke. The gear's sparking. They'd be alive if I hadn't. I'm sorry. I think I might be hyperventilating. I don't know if I can hold it together much longer. I don't know why Hatch wanted this to happen, but he did. I think he wants the CFR for some reason. Can't trust that fucker, sir. I know you're close, but I think he's as evil as they come. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not making excuses. I know I fucked up. I don't know how to deal with this. I've always respected your drive and dedication. You have no idea. But I don't have those things. I'm just an engineer. This is just too much for me. If you come back and fix things, please look after my family. They didn't have anything to do with this. Bernard Riker, senior Chronon Tech. Poor guy. Still got 8 more narratives to find. And 2 more intel. Oh, and some Chronon. Oh, look at the blood splatter. How hard must he have hit that wall? This one. Holy shit. Like that guy's head's going through the glass. And considering this is supposed to be probably a base, that might even be bulletproof glass, which means that's insanely hard impact. No, that's a helicopter coming in. Trying to see if that was a helicopter leaving or not. Is it on the other side of this wall here? Yeah. Boo. Nope, there it is. Is it Dr. Kim? Thank God the stutter collapsed. That was a shifter.
What the fuck was that thing? The train.
All personnel, stay clear of the lower levels. There's a possible hazard. Repeat, stay clear of the lower levels.
Possible hazard.
There appears to be a train crashed into the building. The situation is under control. All personnel should remain in secure areas. There are intruders in the building. Repeat, remain in secured areas.
There's only so many times they can have a stutter collapse just before one of those shifters gets us, because it doesn't really make sense. They're supposed to be lasting longer and longer.
Need help with Fiona.
You're at Serene's office. Good. Just a second. This one's a little tricky. Serene's got access to the CFR chamber, and there's going to be a pretty dangerous guy there guarding. Got it. Just be careful, okay?
You think she'd actually be able to say, it's Burke? Because we've met Burke. We know who he is.
Paul was already gone. But he left behind the one thing I needed.
Untitled note. I have left this message here for you to find so that soon when the time comes and I ask you to choose, you can do so with your eyes open and with some hint of understanding. I have no secrets. Once, from your perspective, a long time ago, although time no longer has such meaning to me, I too came in contact with a time machine. In my case, it was not a man-made device, but a natural one in a cave. It should come as no surprise, really, that such a thing exists, much like natural nuclear reactors do exist, such as the now defunct ones at Okla, Africa. After all, the Meyer-Joyce field has its irregularities. I too became Chronon active. I too developed Chronon syndrome, and in time, I too lost control and became a shifter. Became at once everything and nothing. Was everywhere and nowhere. Died countless deaths and was still alive. Every possibility, every probability happening at once. I promised I'd not lie, and thus I tell you. Was this Martin Hatch? The noise and the pain and the rage were more than anyone could suffer and not go insane. I burned in this fire for a long time. There were brief moments of awareness in this endless nightmare. Different versions of certain key moments in my life that I found myself reliving again and again, trying to make things right, like a puzzle. On and on and on. See, different though. That's the key thing, is different. Even if they kind of ended out shit every way no matter what, but still different. Anyways, I'm convinced that the stutters and the end of time saved me. For those were the only places, the only times, where I could even briefly stop and rest and slowly find focus and control again. and ultimately master this state. Not emerge from it, not be cured, not go back to what I was before, for there's no such thing. But to learn, to be in one place and everywhere at once. My perception is altered, like that of someone who has seen a perpetual illusion. Discover that the picture is both a young girl and an old woman at the same time. Once you see them both, you can never not see them. We are such limited beings. We play with just one piece. On just one square, on an endless chessboard, just one life, one time, in an infinite multiverse of possibilities. Am I an exception? The only one who has found his way to the other side? Or is this just a shifter's brief dream before a stutter collapses? There are other shifters, your best friend who is now your mortal enemy, Dr. Kim, others, some of whom you know. It doesn't matter who, because they are gone, and when they emerge, if they ever emerge, they'll not be who they were, just as I am not who I was before. I have done my part in helping you all achieve this state. Time is an ocean with a frozen surface, and the stutters at the end of the time are holes in that ice, opportunities to come up for air. I have a plan. It's already in motion, but it would be futile to try to explain it to you. Like trying to explain 3 dimensions to someone who can only see one. But make no mistake. I do not look down on you. I strive for humility even as I shift this world from one state to another. I'll make this possible. I stand in between. I don't see myself as a gate. I remain humble. I am something smaller. A hatch. Ooh, that makes his name like so good. I love the writing team on this is on. Remedy's writing team is always on point. I should just admit that. Like, come on. Damn, that was good.
We have a mission. Prep the chopper.
Ready to lift off in 15, sir. What's the profile?
Full tactical complement. And we're going to need a tech squad for assembly. I'll brief them on the way.
Copy that. Good hunting, sir.
That's Ogawa. Is that who wrote this? 100% agree. Has he made any books, or is it only in for like games and TV and that?
My office alarm went off. Is that you skulking around, Jack?
Fuck you. I'm done playing games. I'm here for what you stole.
Yes, of course.
The CFR. If you understood just how much depended on that, you'd leave it alone. But I know you don't care.
You're right. I don't. And it looks like you're not here to stop me.
Yes. Yes, everything will play out as it has to play out. I'll see you very soon, Jack.
He's almost gone shifter. Bradbury swimming pool. That's where the time machine, our brother's time machine, got moved. It's secret.
I'm done dancing your tune, you crazy bastard.
Wait, all of them were him? Those are all amazing games. Games. All serene. Final instructions to Clarice Ogawa. Clarice, I only have a few minutes before the chopper takes off, so this will be brief. As you know, the lifeboat protocol has been initiated without my permission. I won't pretend that Dr. Amaral's betrayal of everything this company stands for hasn't been a blow. At least she will no longer be a threat to our plans. I wish it hadn't come to that, but it is what it is. Regardless, now that the lifeboat protocol is active, the decision has been made for us, and we're now committed to that course. I trust you and Martin to keep an eye on everything while I'm gone. Please ensure that the protocol is executed properly and without mistakes. It's no exaggeration to say that the fate of humanity depends on us now, and much as I had hoped to guide us through these moments, I have to face facts. With my treatments gone, it's questionable how long I can go on. There are still some things I must take care of. While I believe I have enough time for that, this may be the last time we have a chance to communicate. I've always appreciated your loyal service, Clarice. It has been a pleasure and a privilege. Oh. Yeah, so full of himself.
That was just a couple of minutes between stutters. The countermeasure was Paul's prize. Everything he'd built was based on Will's device. His plan depended on it. You better believe I look forward to taking it from him.
Only one of Serene's treatments survived the explosion. His time was running out.
So was everybody else's.
It's a good point. What makes him so special that he's allowed to survive the end of time? Alright. And the crazy detailed timeline.
17 years he lived through twice. All of it mapped out, from memory.
He knew the market trends before they occurred. He had the tools to make a fortune, and he did.
Yeah. And he used it to manipulate politics and have them go his way and totally corrupt everything. All for his benefit. As much as he says it's to save time, he didn't live like a pauper that whole time, did he? Oh, he's looking at 2022. Almost like he expected there to be more time. And yet he's wrong. So clearly things aren't going... Oh, look at the chair moving. Clearly things aren't going the way he thought.
Paul told me that he tried to change things. It failed. What he'd seen, it broke him. And I'd seen Beth go down the same path, but Paul... it consumed him.
From Sophia Amaral, Quantum Ripple Research Unit, to Paul Serene. And it looks like Martin Hatch is CC'd. Paul, Martin, I know you've both been arguing about that the Quantum Ripple Causality Research Subdivision has great potential, and we should keep it funded. I must once again implore you to reconsider. I'll be the first one to admit that the technology is impressive. The fact that Doctors Morphin and Rangers can actually track the consequences rippling out from minor shifts within the Meyer-Joyce field is incredible. And the level of informational detail they managed to obtain is amazing. But here's the thing. They've been at this for 2 years now, and they have not produced a single useful result. Yes, we can trace actual events from their small inception point to the actual consequences, very much in keeping with the basic chaos theory concept of the butterfly flapping its wings, which is why they're called Monarch. Obviously. But, well, so what? Every single thing that happens in this universe is the result of such a chain of events. Being able to see the chain offers no real insight to anything, due to the very randomness of the process. Furthermore, it's utterly misleading. You could say that some tiny event or tiny decision in my life yesterday led me to writing this email, and that's technically true. But so did some tiny event or tiny decision in my life 15 years ago. It's all a chain. The event yesterday didn't take place in a vacuum. It didn't come out of nowhere. So what's the point? We have no control over it. We don't get to direct it, and we get no useful information out of it. Also, have you actually seen the reports they generate? From a technological point of view, the way they managed to automate their analysis of the fluctuation signatures within the Meyer-Joyce field is impressive, but again, it's all meaningless babble with no practical application. Their personal remarks on the reports are even worse. With all due respect to Ron and Terry and their indisputable technical expertise, I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not sure they do either. It's like they're coming up with stuff at random. The above outlines my concerns as to the futility of the entire process. As I suspect that may not be enough to sway you, but I have one final point which I think you should consider very, very carefully. The entire program is an unforgivable waste of Monarch resources. I don't mean money, although the entire Quantum Ripple Causality Research Division is costing us millions and millions of dollars. But that doesn't really matter, because I know we can afford that. However, there's a more vital resource they're consuming. Each time they fire up the rig, delve into the Meyer-Joyce field, they eat up a huge amount of chronon particles. Those are a finite resource. As you know, we are projecting that the Ground Zero's yield will rapidly diminish as the fracture takes hold, which will happen very soon. You may not understand what the real impact of this is, so let me put it to you in practical terms. Every single time they detect and analyze a quantum ripple, it costs us a week of potential lifeboat runtime, minimum. Given Monarch's primary purpose and the total lack of useful results, I believe that's a luxury we cannot afford. I recommend shutting them down immediately, or at the least, during our next reorg. We can reallocate the resources to something useful and put Ron and Terry's expertise into great use designing the lifeboat. I'm sure you won't regret putting them to work on that, given their track record of working with Chronon Tech. Sophia Emerald, Head of Research. This is where you sleep. This is a very exposed bedroom. I don't know if I would want to sleep here. Like, there's not even like curtains. He buys his own merch. Green bag. That's supposed to be his clean clothes or something?
Paul spent a long time running Monarch in secret. It probably didn't help with that whole disconnected from reality thing.
Reflections on the end. I wish my memories about the end of time were clear. I'm not going to do his voice this time. My throat's getting sore. They were clear, but it was anything but a clear time in my life. The world was such a gamble. A frozen mess of different timelines crashing together. The fact that there's different timelines crashing together means there's different timelines possible, right? You just gotta find a way to collapse your like when the time field stutter ends or time reruns, you want to collapse into a particular timeline. Isn't that what we need? We just need to figure that out. That would be a cool way to see how it brings in, like, it connects with Control, maybe through the astral plane in one of the doors in the hotel or something. But tying this into the rest of the universe would be cool. Like, there's that beginning section where they got the whole Alan Wake blackboard, and the episode, there's like an X-Files type episode. I don't think it's actual Night Springs, but it could be. Of where they're, like, researching the Alan Wake mystery. It was so good. All right, anyway, where was I? Get distracted, I apologize. Frozen mess of different timelines crashing together. I was running for my life the whole time, trying to avoid the shifters. Not an ideal state of mind for gathering intel. I didn't help that she kept chasing me, trying to kill me. Beth Wilder, one of my own people. It was her all along. Even then, trapped in the end of time, as little as I understood about what was going on, I could tell she wasn't like me, that she didn't have the powers I did. I knew she had some kind of technology that kept her going in that suspended hell. Of course, I had no idea it was a device I would eventually have my people develop. I suppose I should appreciate the irony that it was her Chronon harness, my own Chronon harness, that it gave me the idea for the lifeboat protocol, the idea that our technology could let humanity survive the end of time. I suppose I have to thank her for that, and she paid it for her sins in the end. But she left her mark on me. I know the time to pay for mine is approaching quickly, but not just yet. Back then, when Wilder and I played our game of cat and mouse at the end of time, if I'd had an ounce of the control over my powers that I do now, things would have turned out very differently. Between the two of us, she was strong and had the training, and I was young and weak and scared. Even so, my abilities gave me an edge. I was lucky she didn't have the full striker gear. She was the one with the upper hand. I didn't learn to properly control my abilities until much later. In those days, they were unpredictable and operated on instinct. Control didn't come easy. I can't help but be aware that this doesn't seem to be the case for Jack. His mastery is growing by leaps and bounds. Is it just because that's the way he's always been? Fast on his feet, bold and adaptive? Or is the fracture affecting him too? I thought we could contain him. It's cost us dearly. Not a mistake I'll make again. But he also did something that Serene wasn't able to do. Even a Serene that had years of experience. When he killed Beth in 2010, which was 10 years after however much time he had in the end of time, plus 10 years of him having powers. When the device went off and it was like messing him up, Jack was able to pop up a shield and like fight back against the CFR. And he had to just sit there and take it. So like Jack's definitely way better at this. And Jack was also just like, whoop, hey, I got powers, cool. You know what? I think it's because he used to be an X-Men. That's gotta be it. He had practice with superpowers. I'm sure it's like a different causal time through reality as a different in the multiverse. He was Iceman, right? Or was that the brother? No, it was him. It was him. Chronon source found. All right. Is that enough? I don't think it's enough. Nope. 2 points shy. What's up, kitty? What's up, kitty? Sorry. From Sophia to Paul. Response, Time Machine Core. Paul, don't worry about it. We're on schedule. Your Time Machine Core from the university has been transported to HQ, and it's currently being installed into the new Time Machine frame we've built for it. You'll have direct access to it from the CFR chamber as requested. And no, before you ask, you can't actually access the CFR chamber from the Time Machine. That elevator can only be activated from within the chamber, so no one working on the machine can get to the CFR. I thought you'd appreciate that layer of added security. I know how important it is to keep the CFR safe. Anyway, I know you don't actually intend to use the Time Machine, but should you ever need it, all we need to do is deploy the corridor. It's actually all hooked up now, but we're still running some final diagnostics. The techs should be ready with it before the gala's over. Sophia, please update me on the progress of the Time Machine Core relocation. Where are we with all this? Oh, this is all going backwards. Give me a minute. We'll go from the bottom. Yeah, his brother's one of the hobbits. I'm personally a big fan of him, and it's not just because I'm Canadian and him and his brother are Canadian. I actually like the movies they've been in. And I like the TV shows his brother was in. So. All right, so the first email from Paul Serene to Dr. Sophia on October 7th. Oh wait, it's from Sophia to Paul. Never mind. Paul, we now have finalized the plans for acquiring and transporting the Time Machine Core from the university lab. Your instructions are quite clear. We won't actually move in until your younger self has entered the machine, and the men will try to take the Joyces alive. The understanding that Jack Joyce in particular could be a threat, and neither can be allowed to escape under any circumstance. Sucker screwed that up. I'm still quite uncomfortable with all this, Paul. I understand your reasoning, and I know the stakes are high, but I don't want to see anybody hurt. It's antithetical to my role as a scientist, and I wish you to reconsider. Surely there's a better way to resolve this. Moral implications aside, the loss of Dr. Joyce's expertise alone would be a great blow, seeing as he's the only one that figured out the whole CFR thing. If everything goes smoothly and quietly, we'll transport the core directly to the Monarch Tower via ground route. There's commotion and it seems there's any risk of detection. We'll instead airlift the core, which is what they did, to our dry dock operation and then move it directly from there to the HQ. The construction of the new Time Machine frame at the top of my Monarch Tower has been finished since last year. Once we have received the core, it will be installed into the Time Machine. Per your orders. I know you don't intend to use it, but even with the limitations that nature of time travel imposes on us, I have to say it seems like a great waste to not take advantage of such a resource, both from a strategic and a scientific point of view. To Sophia in response, Sophia, I understand why you feel that way, but this isn't something I take lightly. It's my experience that time travel only complicates things, and while my own trip through time has given us great opportunities, it's also set me on this path. I want to control it, not use it. That said, I want to have the machine ready for use in emergencies. My foreknowledge of future events will end very soon, and it might prove to be useful to have the option of obtaining more detailed information from the future. Obviously, given that the furthest you could go back in is the machine's activation at the university, visiting the past seems fairly useless. Also, ensure that the machine is heavily guarded at all times. Nobody is allowed to operate the machine besides myself, and I want the corridor to remain undeployed unless I give specific orders to the contrary. As for the Joyce brothers, I intend to give William that option of joining us, if possible, but I know him. He's very stubborn and an unstable man, and I don't know if I could ever trust him. I don't need to remind you that he built in that ridiculous little workshop with very limited resource a device that broke the local physics at ground zero and caused my Chronon syndrome. No he didn't. Your Chronon syndrome is because your device failed when you went back in time. His device didn't fail in that way. He did the math properly. I don't intend to give him a chance to show us what else he could do if he decides that we're a target. That, along with the visions I have seen, there are certain sentimental reasons that make me wish I could let William live, but I doubt that he makes it possible for us. As for Jack, I'm not too worried about him. It took me a long time to master our abilities, so Jack shouldn't be a major problem unless he manages to use stutters to escape the area. Luckily, stutters should be very rare in these early stages of the fracture. Still, come too far to take any chances. I'd prefer to take him alive, but nothing can be allowed to put our plan at risk. I'm sorry to have to involve you in something like this. I know it's not what you signed up for, and as I said, I don't expect you to be personally involved with that part of the operation in any way. I'm not particularly happy about this part myself, and I wish I had had better options, but our circumstances are as they are, and I've come too far to falter now. I hope you understand. He's willing to sacrifice his best friend. Not cool. To Paul from Sophia in response. Paul, yes, of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to add to your burden. I know that these are hard decisions. You can count on us to proceed as planned. I know you're exceptionally busy now that the time is almost upon us, but I was hoping you'd have time for dinner. See, she was into him too. He ruined the possibility of a good thing. Sophia, please update me on our progress with the time machine core relocation. Where are we at with this? Thank you. And then it's saying it's already there and ready to go, just doing final tests. Oh boy. Already got those two. Go down to the lab. Alright, this is where he got his treatments.
Dr. Amaral was the one thing keeping Paul alive, but reading through their exchanges, there was something more than professional going on.
That's not my place to comment on.
And he still ended up killing her. Alright, Sophia's personal notes. Personal notes, Dr. Sophia Amaral, October 9th, 2016. I find myself at a loss. We knew that the fracture would arrive. It was clear very quickly that the process was occurring much faster than Paul's projections. His experiences had led us to believe. That was alarming in itself, but there's another concern. With the fracture, Paul's condition seems to be accelerating rapidly. I don't know what to do about either one of these issues. I haven't had a chance to examine Paul properly, and of course he won't consent to any real tests at this point. He won't take the time, not with the situation being as critical as it is. He has to prepare for the gala, to take care of every little stupid thing. Martin trots out for him. He won't think of himself at all, and I'm afraid that'll cost us dearly. So I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I believe this acceleration is a reaction to the stutters in time, the zero state. His wave function is further disrupted by the excessive chronon energies within his bodies. Therefore, before the university incident, before the fracture, the condition was progressive, but controllable. The lack of stutters helped keep it in check. Now its progress is rampant, and I worry that it may reach a critical point soon. We always knew that was a possibility, but all of our projections assumed we would have years, time enough to come up with a cure, or a way to stop its progress. Which means there's a very real chance that in the near future, Paul's condition overtakes him. If it does, if he does become a shifter, I don't know what to do about it. We haven't been able to help Dr. Kim. I don't know what he could do, or what we could do for Paul. I don't know what to do. The treatments are still working, but they take a toll on him, and their effect is greatly diminished. I'm concerned we may hit a point where he's forced to use them so often that the treatment becomes worse than the condition itself, and yet, I don't see any other options. He will not rest. He insists on doing so much. I know he chafes under his dependencies on the treatment. He sees it as a weakness. I'm afraid we may lose him.
Paul was a powerful man, the leader of an empire, but behind the veil, he was a dying man. The signs were clear.
Last chance to walk.
Something get to Burke before us? Or is he just messed up from his gunshot wounds?
Just one of you. Riv. Look, you have to realize you're not going to keep me from the CFR. You don't look like you're in any shape for this. Emily. Have it your way. Of course he's got one of those fucking things. Don't do it, man. Just stay down.
Fuck you. I've got too much writing on this.
How would he know that at this point if the guy actually kept fighting or not? Like his wife's already been brought down, right? I feel bad. That was actually kind of easy. That's what I was expecting. He was already hurt.
Seeing that face put it into perspective. They were all misled, manipulated to believing they were doing what was right, what was necessary.
Liam Burke made his choice.
Liam Burke was an unnecessary casualty, one of way too many. They'd stockpiled all the chronon particles from Ground Zero to keep the lifeboat running.
Enough to hopefully last until a proper solution was discovered.
Chronon particle stockpile update. Everyone, please be advised that we are now at a point where lifeboat activation may occur. Accordingly, I have ensured that preparations are underway for activation. As a part of that, what chronon particle stores still remain at the Ground Zero harvesting operation are being moved to the headquarters, placed into the master chronon particle repository, ready to be placed under the CFR's control. Please be aware that what we have managed to accumulate until this point is very likely to be all the chronon particles we ever have access to. Due to the fracture's effects on the Meyer-Joyce field, the Ground Zero anomaly is showing definite signs of weakening. As a result, the chronon particle yield decreases drastically and will soon drop to baseline, while we will obviously continue more traditional chronon particle harvesting operations in order to maximize our stockpile. We all need to recognize that sourcing them outside of the Ground Zero conditions is extremely inefficient. Or in plain terms, unless we find another source of chronon particles, and I don't believe we will, what we have now is all we'll ever have. Please be aware that all use of chronon tech eats into our limited resources, and while we, of course, recognize that we need to have our strikers and our soldiers operate in stutters, each operation undertaken will eat away at our stockpile, and, in very real terms, cost us days of lifeboat run time. Accordingly, we have to plan all use of this technology closely and choose our battles carefully. That said, we should also realize the ongoing situation with Jack Joyce constitutes an emergency and will most likely require unconventional chronon particle investments. Just the same, we should be aware of the cost. Expect to see projected chronon particle consumption rates for the foreseeable future and simulations of how long our stockpile will last, adjusted for all of the scenarios we have discussed. See our last meeting minutes in our next Monday meeting. What have we over here?
The lifeboat revolved around the countermeasure. He knew Will would try to take it back, that's why he was killed. He knew I'd try to do the same eventually.
Clearly, he was right.
From Lauren McStevenson. Read me right now, CFR procedures. People, because there seems to be a certain lack of clarity about when it's appropriate for someone to enter the CFR chamber and mess with the chronon field regulator, and because I just had to fire Kevin Janeway because he did that exact thing, let me remind you of the approved CFR procedure. You do not touch the CFR, period. I may touch the CFR because I'm the lead technician in charge of it. Dr. Sophia Emerald may touch the CFR because she's our head of research and she knows what she's doing. Mr. Paul Serene may touch the CFR because he's Paul fucking Serene and it's his CFR. Nobody else touches it. On occasion, some enormous lucky individuals who have been personally trained by me and are proven to be very, very dependable and incredibly good at their jobs, who don't have a track record of trying to enter the CFR chamber like paint-huffing imbeciles because they just wanted to take a closer look at it, and who've remembered to bribe the lead technician in charge of the CFR with Tom Waits tickets. Wait, that's her. May be given written instructions to perform specific procedures on the CFR. That will be a great honor and a sign of a significant degree of trust. And those people should be accorded all professional respect and an appropriate degree of brown-nosing and or passive-aggressive displays of envy by their peers. I like that last bit. Or to put it in another way, you do not touch the CFR. Unless you want to join Kevin in the how to stop being an arrogant dumb shit who jeopardized the whole hope of our future for the entire human race because his mansplaining ass thought that what the CFR really needed was a random dude who knew better. Self-improvement course down at the unemployment office, which I'm sure is where we all believe he was escorted to by those armed men. There are no exceptions to this. The entire lifeboat protocol depends on the CFR being present. Properly. But at the same time, it does seem like they're all indoctrinated. Especially like that whole not even to get a closer look. Maybe having a lot of people that get a closer look and know how it works and aren't going to be afraid to sneeze on it. Like if it's that fragile, then maybe it shouldn't be the CFR thing they're relying on at all. Wait, was there ammo? I forgot to there was ammo there and I forgot to restock. Oh, I'm such an idiot. All right, there's one more thing to find, and it looks like it's on the other side of the door. Actually, it looks like there's a bunch of things in there. There's two pieces, or no, there's one document and one intel remaining. Oh, document, intel maybe, but then what's that piece there? Oh well.
Fiona, I'm at the CFR chamber. Door's locked.
That's way above my access level. But since my friend disabled security earlier, I should be able to do this. Listen, I don't really know what the plan is, but it's all up to you now. Good luck.
Isn't that a comment back at her? Interesting.
It was like walking into a shrine. This was our holy relic.
Personal notes on the CFR. Dr. Henry Kim, 2011, January 5th. This thing feels like a conundrum wrapped in a puzzle. It's an incredible piece of tech, and I feel like we're only scratching the surface of what it can do. And we have already learned so much. I thought I had a good understanding of the intricacies of chronon particles and their practical application before. Now I realize that I still got a great deal to learn. Chronon field regulator, as I've decided to call it. It's a little miracle. How such a small device can do so much is beyond me. I know it taps into the Meyer-Joyce field, but I don't know how. My experiments just show it can do it. It can also manipulate the field, which I wish I knew how, but still. The mechanics of its operations give me ideas, new avenues of thought I've been trying to find for such a long time. The task that I've been set by Mr. Serene has, frankly, stumped me for years, knowing that what we observe as the passage of time is just the result of chronon particles being constantly generated within the field is a simple fact that I've been aware of for a long time. But being able to manipulate those particles in a meaningful way, well, that's another question. The mechanics of the situation are clear, almost frustratingly so. In a zero-state environment, there are no chronon particles, and thus time is frozen. The idea of artificially flooding an area with chronon particles to enable the passage of time is the obvious solution, but actually finding a way of doing that? That's something else. Not only are chronon particles incredibly difficult to source, so obtaining enough to actually stutter-proof an area for any time longer than a fraction of a second has always seemed impossible. Perhaps even more importantly, the mechanism of manipulating the particle in a way that would actually allow me to define a certain volume of space to stutter-proof has constantly eluded me. Well, Ground Zero has solved the formal problem for us. We're almost up and running, and very soon we will have the ability to harvest chronon particles at a useful rate. We'll be able to build a truly formidable stockpile of them in the years to come. As for the later problem, manipulating the chronon particles, that seems to be something the CFR does with ease. Its ability to tap into the Meyer-Joyce field and affect changes in its topology is exactly what I need. Unfortunately, I don't know how it does it. I don't have a clue, and I don't know how to effectively control these effects, but my research into the practical effects of its operation has given me ideas for a different kind of chronon tech that works on a somewhat similar principle, except instead of tapping into the Meyer-Joyce field, it generates a similar localized field of its own, an artificial chronon particle field. Within that field, we can manipulate the chronon particles at will. This means that we should be able to create stutter-proofing tech, allowing us to shield a certain area from the effects of zero state, and I believe I'll be able to miniaturize the technology to allow for personal devices with the same effect, almost like an environmental suit of sorts, with a harness the user would wear to create a chronon field around their body. There are still many challenges here, one of which is that any significant volume of stutter-proof space will incur an unacceptably high drain on chronon particles, which are a decidedly limited resource. Obviously, with the Lifeboat Protocol requiring a large stutter-proof area that we can maintain for years, quite possibly decades, this is a critical issue we have to solve. Mr. Serene has made that quite clear to me. Frankly, even with Mr. Hatch backing me, the thought of disappointing Serene over this makes me quite anxious. I understand his concerns, and they are, of course, entirely founded. The man's intensity is unnerving. In any case, I'm hopeful. So he became friends with Hatch here? I thought maybe he became friends with Hatch because he became, like, when they were shifters or whatever. But maybe that's the case, and when Hatch comes back, he came back to before the other guy was a shifter, because shifters are broken from time. There are so many challenges here, one of which is that this volume, where was I? Intensity unnerving. Oh, we're done. In the next case, I'm hopeful that, or in any case, I'm hopeful that I will figure out this problem soon. I'm hoping to be able to use the CFR itself to regulate the flow of chronon particles, given its nature. I suspect it might be eminently suitable for such a role in the Lifeboat project, and cut down our chronon consumption rate by a great margin. My control over the CFR is limited, but this seems to be a very basic functionality for it, so I'm optimistic that I can do it. Still looking into it, one thing at a time. We've already made great progress, and I will say that Mr. Serene's been quite complimentary with these successes, so I think he'll give us the time we need. Well, it's not like he has a lot of choice in the matter. I'll be honest, CFR is becoming a bit of an obsession with me. I wish I could sit down and have that conversation and just ask those questions. How did he build it? What's it actually for? But I've been denied that opportunity. A part of me wants to open the CFR up and get to the bottom of it, but the potential consequences terrify me. We've already seen what it can do if unleashed. Even worse, there's the possibility that I couldn't put it back together. And just the idea of making a mistake like that is a positively bowel-liquefying thought. Having to explain that to Mr. Serene? No, thank you. So as it is, I have only dared to open up a bit of the casing to get a rough idea at some of the engineering inside. It's amazing work, and it has certainly been a lesson in humility for me. I still have a lot to learn, but I am a very fast learner, and this has to be the most important work anyone has ever engaged in the history of humanity. If we succeed in our mission, the world will not soon forget the name Dr. Henry Kim. Hatch's body?
There'd been some kind of struggle in the chamber.
Oh, nope, Charlie Wincott.
I didn't know the details. Somebody cleaned it up.
A man named Charlie Wincott. I believe he chose to take a stand. Unfortunately, it ended badly for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems to be that kind of work environment.
They have no problem when they're the ones doing the killing. Charlie's badge. Data. Charlie Wincott, Data Samurai. That's on his badge. What a nerd. That part, that was kind of cute. But the rest, he's just a douche. Anything behind here? All right, let's do it.
It took 11 years for Will to build the countermeasure. Beth died for it, and I knew it could fix the fracture. This fucking thing. The problem was, I didn't have a clue how to use it. The only person who did was dead. But Monarch had a way of getting to him before that ever happened.
The University time machine. They've got the core here.
Monarch had built their own time machine above the CFR chamber. That's where I needed to go.
You still believed you could go back and save your brother?
Yes.
We saw rocks fall where he was, but if another us used our time manipulation powers to run in, grab him, pull him out before it actually crushed him, we could have thought he was dead this whole time and he wasn't. That's been my theory for a while now. I mentioned it the other day when we were playing. All right. Whew, so much talking, my jaw's hurting. Oh.
Paul took the core of the time machine from the university, hooked it up to his own machine. It was part of his sick desire for control, but that gave me one last shot at fixing things. I could go back, maybe get to Will before Paul killed him.
Because there was reports of two of us at the university.
Maybe I could still turn everything around.
I'm going to take a quick bathroom break because I got to go pee. And I'll be right back with more of the game.